everyone bombs the test. Now, in that situation, where did you place the blame? Did you say, wow, we must all just be really stupid today? Or, you know, everybody forgot to prepare? Now, did anyone have any ideas, like, what happened in that test? Like, where do you put the blame for that? Professor, right? The professor or the test. So we are all victims of a very, very, very bad test. The test of the societal standards of beauty. Our society expects us to be confident, it expects us to be healthy, it expects us to be beautiful. In a world where the standards of beauty are so ridiculous that no one will ever succeed at that test. In the words of the lovely Geneseo, every girl is expected to have Caucasian blue eyes, a classic button, or full Spanish lips, classic button nose, hairless Asian skin with a California tan, a Jamaican dance hall abs, long Swedish legs, small Japanese feet, the abs of a lesbian gym owner, the hips of a 10-year-old boy, the arms of Michelle Obama, and doll hips. This is why everyone is struggling. So how on earth are we supposed to have anything other than myth, body image, and self-esteem when we live in a world where this is idolized? Or this, or this. Now, I want you all to look at all three of those pictures. And they're all thin. Two of them are very thin. But is there anybody in here who would like to look like one of those girls? Like, I know that somewhere I would love, especially the middle girl, somewhere I would love to look like that. Like, who wouldn't want to look like that? Now take a look at this. So, this is a picture of one of the models. So we all know that Photoshop is used to make thin models have bigger breasts or, look more womanly, or to make models look thinner. But it's also used in other ways. This is how the model originally was in the picture, and that's what they put in the magazine. So they take out all the bad parts of that come with being thin, and they give you just the good ones. So even we all would see that picture and be like, wow, she's healthily thin. But we don't even know the other part that's going on. And even this woman, the same with her. I mean, if you look, the picture's not great quality, but underneath her bikini, her hips are like concave in. And you can see not just her collarbones, but like her chest plate. And now I want you all to look at this picture. So what does this want to make you do? Like, for me, it's just like, come here, I will love you forever. And we just want to snuggle and take care of him, and most importantly feed him. And then I don't see a difference. But one we idolize, and the other we call abuse. I mean, even me, I didn't think this impacted. I thought I was pretty well educated in this stuff. And I spent 10 minutes looking through like bikini models to find the best pictures to show you. And I pull up, type in thin animals. Don't ever do that. And I could hardly look for 30 seconds before my eyes started welling up. But what does that say about us when we, as not us in particular, but us as a society? And so, you're all smart, educated, college women. You know society portrays women in ways that don't actually look like women, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that. Women tells us that women are beautiful, whether they're fat, whether they're skinny, whether they're somewhere in between, but society tells us otherwise. And this is a clip from this amazing series. This woman, she started in the 1970s doing a series. It's called Killing Us Softly. It's all about women in advertising and what it does to self-esteem. So she's done 4. This is the last one. I think it was done in the early 2000s. So it's fairly recent. But I'm just going to show you a little bit. So.
But women learned very early on that our breasts are never going to be okay. This ad ran in lots of women and teen magazines quite some time ago, but its message is sadly current. This is the whole ad, and I'll read you the copy. Your breasts may be too big, too saggy, too pert, too flat, too full, too far apart, too close together, too A-cup, too lopsided, too jiggly, too pale, too padded, too pointy, too pendulous, or just too mosquito bites. But with depth styling products, at least you can have your hair the way you want it. And of course, according to this ad, there is no way to have acceptable breasts. And girls are getting the message these days so young that they need to be impossibly beautiful, hot, sexy, extremely thin, and they also get the message that they're going to fail, that there's no way to really achieve it. Girls tend to feel fine about themselves when they're 8, 9, 10 years old, but they hit adolescence and they hit a wall. And certainly part of this wall is this terrible emphasis on physical perfection. Men's bodies are rarely dismembered in ads, more than they used to be, but still it tends to come as a shock. This ad ran quite some time ago in Vanity Fair and many other magazines. All of these images are from the national mainstream media. But at the time when this ad ran, it was so shocking that the ad itself got national media coverage. It's a good thing it got some coverage, I suppose. Reporters called me up from all around the country and said, look, they're doing the same thing to men they've always done to women. Well, not quite. They'd be doing the same thing to men they've always done to women if there were copy with this ad that went like this. Your penis may be too small, too droopy, too limp, too lopsided, too narrow, too fat, too pale, too pointy, too blunt, or just 2 inches. But at least you can have a great pair of jeans.
I love her. So, let's see. There's really no good way to follow that. But to sum it up in 3 words, women in society, in advertising, are portrayed as 3 ways. The first is sexual. So, it'll blow your mind away. Touch both sides for added enjoyment. This is a phone advertisement. And, you know, the classic naked woman advertising, I think it's perfume. So, we're viewed as sexual. We're also viewed as fragile, as small, as helpless. And we're also viewed as objects. So here she's a beer bottle, there she's burgers, and there she's making love to a car. And so advertising revolves around the objectification and sexualization of women. And this is a little side note, but the first step to truly demeaning someone is to make them not like a person, is to make them an object. So when you look at someone, you don't notice, you know, their character traits or you know, their personality. This was done in the Holocaust with Jews. Like, they were made to be like a Jew, not a person. So by objectifying women in this way, turning their body into actual like pieces of things, it's not exactly the same, but it's a step in that direction. So the next slides are Photoshopped. I'm going to preface it with that because they're pretty disgusting, but these pictures are what fashion designers' designs would look like if they were put on actual women, the way that the designers designed them. So this was, there's a campaign, I think it was done in China, and it was, you know, you are not a sketch. So this is how the sketch art, this is what he designed his clothing to look like. And that's what it would look like. And the same with this one. And I think the best for last with this one. Now all these women are photoshopped, so again, they may look like that, but I'm assuming that they don't, because they probably wouldn't be standing at that point. But again, I say clearly we have a problem. But this is all getting away from what I think is the most important thing here, and that's you, and that's me. How can me and you feel better about ourselves and our bodies in a world where we look at this kind of stuff?